Well, everybody, we did it. We got to a brand new page on the calendar. We got to think about all the things that we had been planning to do and didn't do and were going to do and have changed our minds about doing, and look at this really strange thing going on. I wanted to begin today by telling you that one of my resolutions is to keep these short so that we stay on point. And the reason for this decision and the practice I'm beginning today is because we have so many distractions. And what I want to talk about mostly is how lonely and lost and exhausted that makes us feel. How when we find ourselves feeling overwhelmed, we think it's us. It does not dawn on us. Good morning, Eddie. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. It doesn't dawn on us when we are overwhelmed that there is too much of a muchness coming in this direction. And what we are trying to do is keep on keeping on, because we didn't come with a measure on the side that says so many fluid ounces. And we don't have a fill, pour to fill level, not above, so it doesn't leak all over everything. We don't have that fill mark on our lives. We just keep on pouring. We just keep on showing up. We just keep on showing up and falling down and getting up and wondering why it's not working. So my pledge to all of us, good morning, Miss Maggie. How are you? Happy New Year. My pledge to all of us, me first, because I'm here. I was here before you got here today. My pledge to me and all of us is to pick a focus and own it. Dial in, dive in, decide what I want on the other side, and stop there. And the reason this is a challenge for me is that as a military kid who kept coming home and finding boxes in the living room, I never really understood the difference between forever and 4:30. I never actually knew that I would have enough time to get the things I wanted done before we had to move again, before I had to stop, before I had to say goodbye in the middle of saying hello. And it made me anxious. It made me trying to overcompensate for life, really, because how on earth could I possibly know that all of life is girl interrupt us, his boy interrupt us, his life interrupt us. All I knew in my normal was that stuff doesn't necessarily finish. And we have to be okay with that. We have to be okay with picking up the pieces and beginning again. So my pledge to me and to all of us is to keep it on point so that you get the most benefit for your investment in me and in us. So my theme today is it's time to saddle up our red horses, because this is the year that it'll begin, of course, in February, but this is the Chinese year of the red horse. And the red horse is full of life, vibrant, exciting, ready to go, champing at the bit, wanting to get started. Has the starter's pistol gone? Why not? And this is very different from last year. Last year was a shedding of things. Last year was a reluctance and letting go. It was a tying up of loose ends. And for many of us, we weren't ready. For many of us, there were things we had left unsaid. I had some very sad news yesterday in the midst of having incredibly happy news yesterday that I had lost someone, that we had lost someone who played a huge role in my life for almost 6 years. And I didn't know until yesterday. And so that was a bit of a, oh, oh, oh. And I felt like that record skipping, the old vinyl records where the needle skips and it keeps coming back and hitting the same thing. And then I got myself out of it by focusing once again on the moment and climbing right inside the moment. So what I mean by it's time to saddle up our red horses is not, for heaven's sake, get going, what are you doing? It's not what I mean. What I mean is we have resources. I mean, we are not alone doing these things. It is not on our shoulders to take on every single task unasked. It is not expected of us to do our job and all the others. It is not even remotely reasonable to ask ourselves to fix ourselves alone, without help, without a partner saying, I think we need to take a couple more steps back. We're not wired that way to just self-correct. It's not how we work. And one of the other things I want to say about our red horses, of course, a red horse being a very brilliant and bright color. What I'm saying about red is that it's two things. A red flag, a red light, a red warning sign is meant to alert us, not alarm us. We do not need to go from I'm okay to oh my God. That's not how it works either. When we saddle up a red horse, we're saddling up a horse that is full of spirit. We're saddling up something vibrant and alive. We're climbing into and investing in our hopes and dreams, the ones we've kind of set aside. It is our time to remember. Overstimulated, yes. Yes, Eddie. Think of every small child given too much candy. And then they're overtired around 3 p.m. Good morning, Rhea. Happy New Year. Here's to saying goodbye to all the barnacle buddies, right? Good morning, Freddie. Happy New Year. How wonderful to see you. So my message today, my message to me and to thee and to we, is that we have permission to dial in, to slow down in order to gather and ready and prepare. I don't mean dawdle, and I don't mean lazy, and I don't mean procrastinate. I mean, it takes time to dial in. It takes time to get the right focus. It takes time to realize that this doesn't go with that. And when we're ready, saddle up our red horses means remember that we have each other's back. This is not a solitary pursuit. The entire Pivotry in Motion project that I began 7 years ago, was meant to teach me, remind me, and then begin to share that if it feels off, we're okay to take a closer look. If it feels not right, it's okay to say, I think I want to try a different way. I think I might be ready for a different path. And then not go off all alone, but do the research, find the partners, find the tools, ask an expert how they work, practice. This is the entire Pivotry concept. And we don't do it alone. We do it with others. We do it with experts. And mostly we do it with people who have walked the path. They're the ones that know where the pitfalls are. We are the ones, people like me, people like you, know what it's like to have gotten it wrong, to have held back. We can still feel the pinch of that. And it's up to us to say to each other with love, you know, you're not going to enjoy that. It's going to be a gradual kind of a fade, like that old saying, not with a bang, but a whimper. And, you know, I survived an accident. many years ago on the 5th of December. And I, from that time on, I think, without even realizing it, I said to myself, I don't really want a whole lot of whimper days. If every day is a bonus day, I want it full. I want it full of all the things that make me feel, okay, thank you, we got this. Because it's a gift. And every one of us is a gift to each other. Every day is a gift that we get to spend however we like. And as Maggie and I have discussed when we do our brainstorming and our coaching and consulting concepts, you got 24 hours. And the remarkable thing every day is at the end of the 24 hours, you don't have any left over. You've used every single second. So how you fill them is up to us. How we get each other to help us ride herd on us, to police our boundaries, to stay on track, not inside the lines, color outside the lines. Just remember why. Just remember what the thought was. Because at the end of the day, we may not get where we thought we were going, but at the end of the day, we're somewhere new, somewhere we never expected to be. And I, for one, want to be able to say, all right then, we did it, as opposed to, dear God in heaven. So with that, it's 10:11. Can you believe it? I'm going to sign off. I'm going to take care of some things today on this first day of the calendar. I'm going to hook up with, talk with, speak with the people I need to brainstorm with. And I hope you do the same. Now, I'm going to be back, obviously, next week with more new things to share. Lots of new exciting things have emerged these last few days, and I hope they did with you. And just so you know, my Christmases and my New Year's have always been very quiet, have always been very small. Sometimes we didn't even celebrate them at all on the specific day. So however you spent your holiday was meant for you. So don't be comparing your path, your overeat, your what was I thinking, to anyone else's. Yours was meant for you. And your red horses are waiting outside. And they can't wait to see where they're going with you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for making this work. 424 today. You know what's coming on the horizon, don't you? 500. I can see it in the distance. So between now and next week, be good to you. You deserve it. Remember to hug your loved ones. They deserve it too. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.